Cary-Foster's bridge, determination of resistance and resistivity. The aim of the experiment is to determine the resistance and resistivity of a given coil of wire using Cary-Foster's bridge. Now coming to the theory part of how to determine the resistance and resistivity using a Cary-Foster bridge. We have just seen the Cary-Foster's bridge, which consists of number of gaps G1 and a gap G2 and a gap G3 and G4. Now in the gap G1 we are connecting X, unknown resistance, and G2 we are connecting a standard resistance R, and in G3 and G4 we are having two standard resistance, say 1 ohm each or equal resistance, and the resistance R can be varied. Now we are connecting between the strip here and here, we are connecting a voltage source, and a galvanometer is connected through jockey from the center point. Then from the principle of the meter bridge, if L1 is the balanced length that we are obtaining for zero deflection of the galvanometer, when the X is connected in the left gap and R is connected in the right gap, and let L2 be the balanced length measured with X in the gap G2 and R in the gap G1, that means X and R interchanged, then L2 be the balanced length. So we obtain two balanced length, L1 and L2, when X and R, X in the left and R in the right, and L2 when X in the right and R in the left gap. Then from the principle of Cary-Foster bridge, we have the formula X is equal to R plus L1 minus L2 into sigma, where sigma is the resistance per unit length of the wire, where sigma is the resistance per unit length of the wire. So if we know the value of sigma and the value of R that we used, we can determine the unknown resistance X. But initially we have to find out the value of sigma. Now for that, initially in the left gap, instead of a zero resistance, that means a copper strip is connected, then X is equal to 0. Then from this particular equation, we are getting 0 is equal to R plus L4 minus L3. Now L4 minus L3 is where L4 and L3 are the balanced length, or L3 and L4 are the balanced length that we obtain from the end A of the Cary-Foster bridge, with zero resistance in the left gap, that is L3, and when the zero resistance in the right gap, that is L4. Then from that equation, this equation, we can get sigma is equal to R into L3 minus L4. Then if we knows the length of the wire and the radius of the wire given, the resistivity of the material of the wire can be calculated using the formula pi r square X by L. The resistivity is calculated using the formula pi r square X by L. Now coming to the procedure part, as we mentioned initially, first we want to find the value of sigma. So in order to measure in order to calculate the value of sigma, initially in the left gap we are connecting a copper strip, that is zero resistance, and in the right gap we are connecting a very small resistance of the order of 0.4, 0.5 etc. ohms. Then we obtain the balanced length L3 first from the end A. Then the copper strip and the small resistance are interchanged. Then the balanced length is L4. Then sigma is calculated using the formula R divided by L3 minus L4. R divided by L3 minus L4 is calculated. That experiment can be repeated for different values of R. If we change R, L3 and L4 also changed. So each time we calculate R by L3 minus L4, then sigma is calculated and the mean value of sigma is taken. Now to measure the value of X to determine the unknown resistance, the unknown resistance is connected in the gap G1 and a known resistance is connected in the gap G2. Then let L1 and L2 be the balanced length which is measured from the end A. With the unknown resistance in the gap G1, let L1 be the balanced length, and when the unknown resistance is connected in the gap G2 and the known resistance in gap G1, then the length will be L2. Then the unknown resistance is calculated using the formula X is equal to R plus L2 minus L1. The unknown resistance is calculated using the formula R plus L2 minus L1 into sigma. Sigma we already determined. Then measuring the value of length of the wire and radius of the wire using a screw gauge, we can obtain the resistivity pi r square x by L. For the observation tableau column, we have the screw gauge for the measurement of diameter and then the radius of the wire. Then the tableau column for determination of sigma, we are using resistances 0.5, 0.6, fractional resistance in one gap, and the other gap copper strip is connected. When the copper strip is in the left gap, the balance length is L3, and when the copper strip is in the right gap, the balance length is L4. L3 minus L4 is calculated. So, sigma is calculated by the formula R by L3 minus L4. Then for the determination of X, we are using a resistance, say 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. ohms we can use. Then when the unknown resistance is connected in the gap G1, the balance length will be L1. So, for each resistance the balance length is determined. Then the resistance is connected in the unknown resistance is connected in the right gap, then the balance length is L2. Then we can determine the value of L2 minus L1. Then the unknown resistance is calculated using the formula X is equal to R plus L2 minus L1 into rho. R plus L2 minus L1 into sigma. Here we are denoting it as sigma, the resistance per unit length of the wire. Then the mean X is calculated, length of the wire is noted, and the resistivity is calculated by knowing the radius also, pi r square x by L. So, we obtained the result. Now, coming to the experimental setup, how we are using the Carry-Forster bridge for the determination of resistance and resistivity. Now, the Carry-Forster bridge consists of a uniform wire which is kept stretched between 2 points, say A and B. 2 metallic strips are here, one metallic strip here and another metallic strip here. Now, there are 3 more strips, say 1, 2 and 3 more strips are there, so that there are 4 gaps. Now, this gap is G1 and the other end gap is G2. Now, a gap G3 is here and G4. So, we are having 4 gaps. Now, in the gap G1, usually we are connecting, if you want to find the resistance of a coil. Now, this coil of wire is connected in the gap G1, and in the gap G2 we are using a resistance box in which we can take any value of resistance from the resistance box that is connected in the gap G2. Now, in the gap G3 and G4 we are using 2 standard resistance. Here it is a standard resistance 1 ohm that is connected here in the gap G3, and another standard resistance say 1 ohm that is connected in the gap G4. Now, a galvanometer is connected from the centered metal strip. Galvanometer is connected and it is connected to a jockey which can move or slide over the meter bridge wire. Then a voltage source is connected between the other 2 strips. Now, this is a voltage a cell, positive of the cell is connected in the left strip, and through a key it is connected to the right strip. So, between the 2 ends C and D, we are applying a voltage. So, that is the experimental setup. Now, initially first we want to find the sigma value, that is the resistance per centimeter of the wire. For that, we have seen in the theory, we are provided with a copper strip. This copper strip is connected in the left gap instead of the resistance X. The copper strip is connected in the left gap. The copper strip is connected in the left gap. Now, it is tightened. Now, the copper strip is supposed to have a 0 resistance. So, we want to include a resistance equivalent to that, that means a fractional resistance. Here I unplugged a resistance of say 0.2 and 0.4 ohm from the resistance box, that is a fractional resistance. Now, the jockey is moved over the meter bridge wire. Now, when it is giving contact to the end B, we can see a right side deflection here. When it is giving contact to the end A, we can see a left side deflection. So, moving over the meter bridge wire, the deflection changes. Now, we want to get a particular point for which we are getting the balancing point. Now, here we can see at this particular point, on the other side we are getting right side deflection, here we have left side deflection. At this particular point we are getting almost 0 deflection. Now this corresponds to, here I am getting 54, that is it corresponds to point 54. So I am getting a value of L1, that is 54. L1 is 54. Now we want to interchange this copper strip to the right and the resistance to the left. Now before that, we can repeat the same condition. Instead of 0.4, you just take another value of resistance, say 0.5, then again find the balancing point. Now the balancing point is changed. Now the balancing point is changed to a value of, here we are getting 0 deflection. Now 56 I am getting L1 value. Now similarly, take a value of say 0.6, a fractional resistance of 0.6. Then again the balance length is determined. The balance length is determined. Again the balance length is changed. Now the balance length is about 57 we are getting. So similarly for 0.6, 0.7 etc. we are determining the value of the balance length. Now we want to find L2. Now for that, now this particular copper strip is disconnected from the NDA, and the copper strip is connected in the gap G2. Now in the gap G2 the copper strip is connected. So we have connected the copper strip in the gap G2, and the fractional resistance is connected in the gap G1, the fractional resistance in the gap G1. Now if you are finding the balance length, and that balance length is L2. So initially we started with a fractional resistance of 0.4. So we are taking that 0.4 again. So the fractional resistance is 0.4. Then find the balance length, and that balance length is L2. Now on the right side we are getting right side deflection at the end B, and at the end A we are getting left side deflection. Now we are moving over the wire. Now somewhere here we are getting 0 deflection. Now it corresponds to a value of 45 only. Now earlier when the copper strip is in the left side we obtained 54, that is L1. Now when the copper strip is in the right side and the fractional resistance in the left side, we obtain a balance length for a value of 45. Now we have to find out for 0.5, we have to find out the balance length. Now for 0.5, here I am getting a balance length for 44 only, 44. The balance length is again changed. Now we have to repeat it to find the L2 value for 0.6, 0.7 and 0.8 etc. Now using that L2 value and L1 value and the R value used, we can determine the value of sigma, the resistance per centimeter of the wire. Now for the second part, for the determination of the unknown resistance X of a coil of wire. Now from the left gap the copper plate is removed and the resistance wire X, the coil of wire X is connected in the gap G1. Coil of wire is connected in the gap G1 and a resistance box is included in the gap G2, and we unplugged a resistance of say 2 ohm. We can take 2, 3, 4, 5 etc. because we are expecting this wire is having a resistance of 5 or 6 ohms, that range. So we have to take R also in that range. Now we included 2 ohm here. Now we can find, so in the left gap X is connected and the right gap 2 ohm is connected. Now we can find the balance length in the galvanometer. Now jockey is given contact. When jockey is given contact at the end B, right side deflection. When jockey is given contact at the left side, we can see there is a left side deflection. Now moving over the jockey at somewhere here we are getting a 0 deflection. Now here we are getting the galvanometer is giving a 0 deflection. Here. That corresponds to a length of 14 centimeter. So that is a value of L3. The L3, the balance length that is measured from the NDA when the unknown resistance X is connected in the left gap, I got L3 is equal to 14 centimeter. Now we want to interchange R and X. Before that we can repeat the experiment. Now take a resistance of say 3 ohm instead of 2 ohm. Take a resistance of 3 ohm. Again find the balancing length. Now it is changing. Now the balance length is about now 25 centimeter. So for a resistance of 3 ohm in R, the balance length is 3 ohm. Now we are including, instead of 3, we are including 4 ohm in the resistance box. Then again the balance length is changing. Now the balance length is changing to a value for zero deflection. The balance length is 35. Similarly, find the balance length corresponds to 5 ohm, 6 ohm, 7 ohm, 8 ohm, etc. Keeping X in the left side and R in the right side. Now we want to find the value of L2. For that, we are interchanging the unknown resistance X. We are interchanging the unknown resistance X. Now X is connected to the right gap. X is connected to the right gap, and the R from the right gap is removed, and that is connected to the left gap. R is connected to the left gap. We interchange both X and R. Then the balance length obtained is L2. L2. The balance length is measured from the same end A itself. So initially we started with 2 ohm. So we are introducing 2 ohm in the R. We are finding the balance length corresponds to 2 ohm. The balance length is measured from the end A itself. Now giving contact on the left side, we are getting end A, we are getting left side deflection. When it is given contact on the end B, we are getting right side deflection. Now we can move. We can move, and somewhere here we are getting a zero deflection we can get here. It is moving on both the two sides. Now somewhere here we are getting a zero deflection. Now corresponds to a value of say 84 I am getting zero deflection. That means L2 in this case is 84. L2 in this case is 84. That means with the resistance R in the left gap and X in the right gap. Now we are finding the value of L2 for a resistance of say 3 ohm. Again giving contact. Now it is moving on both the two sides of 0. It is moving. It is moving on both the two sides. Now here we are getting zero deflection, null deflection. Now that corresponds to a point of 75 on our scale. So from the end A, the distance to the balancing point is 75 centimeter. 75 centimeter. Now again it is repeated for 4 ohm. Now R is included 4 ohm. Then again the value of balance length is changing. Now we can see the deflection is moving. Now at this particular point, now here we are getting a zero deflection. Here we are getting a zero deflection. Now that corresponds to 64 only. So L2 is 64. Now similarly, the L2 value is determined for a resistance R. Now it is 4 ohm. Now for 5 ohm, 6 ohm, 7 ohm, 8 ohm, etc. L2 is determined. We already obtained L1 for these values. From this L2 and L1 values, using the formula X is equal to R plus sigma into L2 minus L1, we can determine the resistance of the given coil of wire. Now using a screw gauge, find the diameter of this wire. Find the diameter of this wire. So we can find using the screw gauge. Now here we are getting a pitch scale reading as 0, and the head scale reading is 52 I am getting here. Now repeat it at different points of the wire, then we are getting the diameter, and then from that radius, and this wire, this coil is having a length of 1 meter. So we can determine the resistivity using the formula pi r square X by L. The resistivity can be determined. Coming to a sample set of reading that we obtained in the Carry-Forster bridge, initially we determined the radius of the given coil of wire using a screw gauge. The least count of the screw gauge is determined first. Then the pitch scale reading is noted and the head scale reading is noted. Then the total reading is calculated and the correction is also added. So we obtained the diameter. It repeated 5 or 6 times and we obtained the mean diameter as 0.528 millimeter. So the radius is equal to d by 2, that is 0.264 millimeter or 0.264 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. Now for the determination of sigma, we use fractional resistances. Initially we use 0.4. Then when the copper strip is in the left gap, the balancing length is 52.7. Then we interchange the fractional resistance and the copper strip in the two gaps G1 and G2. Then the balance length is 44. So we calculate the value of L3 minus L4, and sigma is calculated using the formula R by L3 minus L4, that we obtain 0.4 divided by that L3 minus L4, that is 8.7. So we obtain 0.0459. We can repeat, or we repeated the experiment taking fraction resistance 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 and 0.8, and each time we obtained the readings L3 and the corresponding L4. When it is interchanged, difference is calculated and sigma in each time is calculated, and here we obtain the mean value of sigma as 0.0466 ohm per centimeter. So that is the resistance per unit length of the carry-force bridge wire. Then for the determination of unknown resistance X, we used resistances 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 etc. in the resistance box. Then the balanced length, when the unknown resistance X in the left gap and the known resistance R in the right gap, we obtain the balanced length as 25 for R2. Then we interchange R and X. Now R is in the left gap and X is in the right gap. Then the balance length is 79. So the difference between the two is L2 minus L1 is 51. So X is calculated, X is equal to R plus L2 minus L1, that is 2 plus 51 into sigma value, that is 0.0466, we obtain 4.516. Now when it is repeated for a standard resistance of 3, we obtain the readings as 33.7 and 63.3. So the difference is 32.6. And so the calculated value X is 4.519. So it is repeated for 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we can see here that the L2 minus L1 can be negative also, because as we increase, for example, here the mean resistance that we are getting X is equal to 5.08 ohm, or 5 ohm is the resistance of the wire. So if you are using a resistance greater than that, what happens that the value of L1 and L2 will be changed, so that L2 minus L1 can be negative. Then we are subtracting here. For example, in the case of 6 ohm, we obtain in the left gap 56.5 and the right gap 44.3. So the difference is minus 12.2, that is L2 minus L1. Then X is equal to 6 minus 12.2 into 0.0466, that is value sigma. Then we obtain 5.432. Similarly for 7 also we determined the mean value of X is calculated. We obtain 5.082, and the given coil of wire is having a length of 1 meter. So we already determined the radius value, and that radius is also substituted. Then we obtain the resistivity as pi r square X by L is calculated as 1.112 into 10 to the power of minus 6 ohm meter that we are getting. So that is the result. The resistance of the wire is 5.082 and the resistivity is 1.112 into 10 to the power of minus 6 ohm meter.